Hi everyone, today I have a beginner full body Pilates workout on the stability ball. This workout, it'll really help prep you for more intermediate and advanced workouts, which I'll also be posting on this channel, so stay tuned for those. But let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start seated on the ball. So right in the middle of the mat. And I'm just turned to the side so you can see what's happening here with my pelvis. But we're going to go into Pelvic Rocks. So find your nice neutral seated position. Feet are parallel, about grapefruit's distance apart, or about a hip's distance apart from each other. And then just really ground through the feet to find your balance here. We're going to take our hands, we're going to place them onto our hip bones so you can really feel where those are and feel what's going on with your pelvis. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders are stacked right over the hips, nice straight spine. So imagine like you have a string attached to the crown of your head and it's pulling you all the way up to the ceiling. So try to grow even taller here. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to tuck that pelvis under, like you're tucking the tailbone like a dog that's in trouble. And then you're going to inhale as you come through center. Exhale as you arch through the back, like you're trying to pop that booty out. And then inhaling back to center and through to your tilt again. And I'm just using my hands as a guide to help me tilt that pelvis forward and back. So my hands are really doing this motion with my hips just to help me out. And you'll notice that ball is rocking back and forth. And I'm trying to really keep the movement out of my upper back. So I'm trying to keep that upper back as neutral as possible. And I'm just moving through the pelvis, using my core to help me. Okay. So every time I rock forward, I'm thinking of pulling that belly button deeper towards the spine, rolling that ball forward, tilting that tailbone under. Let's do one more in each direction. So moving forward, through the middle, and back. And then we'll come to neutral here. Now we're going to go from side to side. So I want you to think of lifting the left hip bone up as that right hip bone goes down, coming back through center, and then we're switching directions. So right hip comes up, left is down. Keep going. And so now my hands are going in this motion. So use those hands to help you. The ball is going from side to side. So that ball will give you feedback on if you're going in the right motion. And this is just a great way to warm up that lower spine. Let's do one more. To the left and center. And right and center. And now we're going to put it all together. So we're going to start with our pelvic tilt, tilting the pelvis forward, abs pull in, ball rolls forward. And then we're going to circle the ball around to the left. So that's kind of where, if you're thinking of a clock, where 9 o'clock would be. And then we're going to move to 6 o'clock. So we're circling it around and down. So now we're arching through the back. And then we're going to circle around to 3 o'clock. And then back to 12 o'clock. Pelvis tucks under. So let's keep going here. We can speed it up a little bit now that we kind of got the motion. So that ball is like drawing its own circle. Just circling it around. Again, trying to keep the motion in the pelvis. And minimal movement in the upper body. All right, let's come back to our tilt. So we're tilted forward. We're gonna switch directions. So we're at 12 o'clock now. Let's go to 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, and 12. 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, tucking the pelvis under to get to 12, arching to go through 6, and just noticing if one side is harder than the other. This side's a little bit more wonky for me. All right, let's come to 12, and then let's go back to neutral. Shake it out here. And then I'm gonna scoot this ball back just so I can roll forward on it. So we're gonna come onto our backs on the ball. So kind of like the shoulder blade area should be making contact with the ball, and you want enough space to be able to fold your upper body over the ball. But come back up for a second. Let's check in with the feet. Make sure they're nice and parallel, so not turned out, not turned in. Solid number 11, hips distance apart. And then we want our ankles kind of right under our knees, so where they're nice and straight. And then our knees should be about the distance of our hip bones. All right. So we're going to place the hands behind the head, push your head into your hands and your hands into your head. So you're nice and connected here, and then keep those elbows nice and wide. From here, you're going to fold your body over the ball. And then you're going to lift your head, neck, and chest up as your abs pull in, and we're thinking of pulling the ribs down to the hip bones. So we're closing that gap. So let's keep going with that. Each time you lift, pull that belly button to spine. Keep those elbows nice and wide. And I like to use an exhale to come up. I feel like that helps me draw my abs in. And then again, use that ball as feedback. So we're trying to keep it nice and stable. If it's rocking side to side, then that means one side is probably taking over. All right, let's hold the head lifted. Make sure your feet are nice and grounded here. And then we're gonna lift the hips up, squeezing through the glutes. So you should get a nice straight line from your knee to your hip, and then lower that butt down. Lifting it up, squeeze those butt cheeks together, then lower down. Abs pull in, hips are nice and stable. So again, we're trying to like not have too much movement in the ball. If you notice it's shifting from side to side, then that's a good indicator that your hips are rocking or that there's an imbalance in your body. So hold those hips lifted here. Let's do small pulses up here, up and down an inch, squeezing through the glutes here. 3, 2, 1. Hold it, squeeze together. You're going to lift the right heel up off the ground to your high heel. Set it down. Lift the left heel up and set it down. Try to keep those hips stable here. So try not to let the ball rock side to side. Don't forget to breathe. Find your highest heel as you lift up. We'll do one more each side. Last one. Good. Let's lower it down. And then we're just going to come down to seated on the mat. You'll turn to face me. We're going to do a little mermaid stretch here. So your outside leg, that leg's going to bend back. Your leg closest to the ball, it's going to bend in front of you. So it's kind of like a Z set. Your hand is going to go on top of the ball right in the middle. So just make sure you're nice and even on that ball. And then your other opposite arm is going to extend long out beside you, palm facing up. Find your nice straight spine. You're going to inhale the arm up to the ceiling. Find that stretch here. And then as you exhale, you're going to flex through the side body here. finding that mermaid stretch. The ball will naturally roll away from you a little bit, but what I don't want is for you to lean into the ball like this. It's not about the lean, it's about finding the flexion here. So imagine like somebody's tickling your side and you're trying to pull away from the tickle. Inhale up, exhale the arm down to the side. Let's do that again. Reaching up, flexing over, making like a rainbow shape with that side body. All the way up to straight spine. Hand lowers down. Arm comes up, reaching up and over. Coming up, arm lowers down. One more here. Let's hold the flexion down here. You're gonna rotate your chest towards the ground. The other hand's gonna find the ball. You're gonna have to adjust that other hand to where they're nice and level. And then walk your ball away from you with your fingertips a little bit, just so you have room to lower that chest down and that head down towards the mat. And just allow yourself to find that stretch here. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Let's take one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out. And then we're going to round through the spine as we lift our chest up. That ball will roll towards your body. Then unrotate. Let's put the ball on the other side here. So just roll that around. And we'll switch our Z sit to the opposite direction. Hand is on the ball, arm nice and long. Other arm is extended out to the side. We're going to inhale the arm up. Exhale as we flex over through the side body. Inhaling up. Exhale, arm lowers. Keep going here. Again, focusing on that flexion, creating that rainbow shape with the body. Coming up. And lower the arm down. We'll do 2 more like that. And this stretch just feels so good to me. And just notice if this side is different from the other. This side is like tighter for me. Like even my Z sit doesn't feel as flexible. All right, let's hold this one over. Rotate the chest towards the floor. Other hand comes on the ball. Even the arms out. Roll the ball away a little bit. Then slowly lower your chest down. Finding that stretch here. Breathing into it. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale it out. Round through the spine, lifting that chest up, coming to seated, and then let's untwist. And then we're going to turn to the side, and I like to scoot back towards the back edge of the mat just to have enough room. Our feet are going to come about as wide as the mat, and then we're going to sit up nice and tall, so make sure your shoulders are stacked above the hips. Sit up nice and tall. If you have trouble doing this and extending your legs, bend at the knees and see if you can make your back straighter that way. But it's really important that shoulders over hips, spine is nice and tall, okay? So you do what's accessible to your body there right now. You're gonna take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're gonna tuck the chin to chest. Then you're gonna come into your C curve. Now again, this is not about rolling the ball away from you, so we're not coming down into a forward chest fold. So I want you to think of rounding through the spine, and we're keeping the shoulders kind of like over the hips, and we're pulling the belly button in, pulling that rib cage in, finding that C curve. And then we're gonna roll up, stacking one vertebra at a time, coming up to our straight spine. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck chin to chest. C curve it down. Pull those abs in. And let's stack the spine, coming up to straight spine. Let's do one more here. C curve it down. And now we're going to hold it down here and let's roll that ball forward. Let's come into our forward chest fold. Once you've kind of reached your end point, you're going to flatten out that back. Find your extension here. So nice flat back. And then round it forward. Roll it back. Stack it up one vertebra at a time. Finding that straight spine. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck chin to chest. Find your C curve first. Then fold forward. Find your end range. Extend. Flattening out that back. Nice straight spine. Round it forward. Stacking one vertebra at a time as you come all the way up. Let's do one more there. Inhale here. Exhale, chin to chest. C curve. Lower it down. Extending forward. Flatten that spine. Flatten that back. Round it forward. Roll it back, stacking one vertebra at a time. Coming up to seated. Great job. All right, now we're going to stay here. I'm just going to move forward so I don't hit this wall here because we're going to go into spine twist. So I'm just hugging the ball with my feet and try to get kind of the middle of the ball centered with the feet. Okay. And why we're doing this is just for feedback on what our hips are doing. Okay. So let's extend the arms long out in front of us. Then let's bring them wide to the sides, coming to a T. Again, sit up nice and tall. Bend your knees if you need to. Find that nice tall spine. From here, we're going to take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to rotate. So rotate towards me through the torso. So it's the upper body rotating, and that ball will tell you what your hips are doing. So if you see the ball shifting or you feel it shifting, then that means you're twisting too far. So we want to keep those hips parallel. Inhale it. As we unrotate, exhale, rotate other side. Checking in with that ball. And we're really reaching the fingertips away from each other, wringing out that torso. Abs pull in each time we rotate. And each time we rotate forward, try to grow that spine even taller. Let's do one more each side. Rotating towards me. To the center. And rotating to the opposite side. And center. Let's lower those arms down. And then we're going to come onto our backs. And then we're going to hug the ball with our inner thighs. So kind of like with the knees. And then we're kind of like in a tabletop position. So our feet are up and hovering. And then arms are long by our sides. Let's find a nice neutral spine. So the back of my rib cage is sinking heavy into the mat. My tailbone is sinking heavy into the mat. And there's a small gap between my lower back and the mat where the natural curvature of my spine is. Now, if you find this difficult and you find that your rib cage is flaring out when you do this and you're not able to hold this position, then go ahead and come into an imprinted spine. So just close that gap between the natural curve and the mat, just for now till you build up that strength. But the goal is neutral spine, okay? Now, arms are nice and long. Walk the fingertips down the mat. Suction cup the backs of the arms into the mat. From the fingertips, palms of the hands, all the way to the triceps. So this is work just holding it here with the inner thighs. We're going to tap the toes down towards the floor and then lift it up. And we're only going down as far as we can maintain that neutral spine. So if your ribs flare out, if your back starts to arch, then just lower that range of motion. You don't have to go down so far. So it might even be just, whoop, just an inch. So you find that range of motion that works for your body today. And then let's set that ball down onto the floor. We're going to bring our ankles on top of the ball. And again, feet are parallel, hips distance apart, or about a grapefruit's distance apart. Reset those shoulders. Reset those shoulders by walking those fingertips down the mat, making sure the backs of the arms are suction cupped into that mat. From here, let's inhale the arms up to the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to lift the head, neck, and chest as we lower those arms down to where they're just hovering right above the mat. So in line with our hips, setting everything back down, then lifting everything back up. As we lift up, try to pull that belly button in, navel to spine. And again, neutral spine is the goal, but feel free to imprint here until you build up those muscles. Last one here. Lower it down. Then we're going to come into Pilates V. So our heels are going to be glued together and then our toes are apart. Our knees are about as wide as our shoulders. Extend the arms long up to the ceiling. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to frame the right leg with both arms. So you're coming up into an oblique crunch. Lower it down and then we'll frame the left leg and lower down. Keep going here. Abs pull in. And I like to think of kind of bringing this armpit over to the other side. And again, use that ball as feedback. We're trying to keep our hips nice and parallel, so they shouldn't be rocking as we do this. Last one here. And lower it down. Great job, everyone. All right. Now, we're just going to kind of roll over to our side and then push ourselves up. That's the easiest way to get up from there. And then we're going to take our ball. We're going to come to kneeling. The ball's going to go kind of in the center of the mat. And then we're going to just fold over the ball. Hands are going to come down to the ground. And we're in a quadruped position here. And I just want you to make sure you're not like sinking into this ball. So this is not like a lazy, relaxing thing. We're pushing ourselves away from the ball, almost as if that ball wasn't there. That's how much we want to be supported. But obviously that ball is there to give you a little bit of support and feedback. I'm going to move up a little bit here just so I have room so you can see everything. So push your body away from the mat and think of engaging the shoulder blades down the back and away from the ears. And I like to bring my gaze right at the top of the mat. Okay, from here, you're going to put more pressure into that left palm as you lift that right arm straight out in front of you. And then lower it down. And then we'll switch sides. So more pressure into that right palm as we extend that left arm out in front of us. And lower it down. And we're using this ball as feedback again. So we're trying not to shift from side to side. So it's just the arm that's moving. The body is trying to stay where it's at. So if you feel that ball moving from side to side, that's a good indicator that your hips are shifting, which we want to try to avoid. So I'm even tightening my core as I lift the arm, and I'm pulling my belly button away from the ball. Let's do one more here. Make sure you even both sides out. Set both palms down once you've done that. And then we're going to extend the legs now. So that right leg is going to come out. Straight out behind us. Lower it down. And then the left leg. And this is where it gets a little bit harder. But again, we're trying not to move that ball. So that ball stays still. The hips stay nice and level. And so this ball is just, it's just such great feedback for like everything we've done today. Let's do one more each side. So left side, lower it down, and then let's extend that right leg again, but let's hold it out there this time. And then bring it to the side and back. So just an inch or so to the side and back. And the goal here, so we really want to keep that ball still. So if we bring the leg too far out, you're going to feel that ball shift, and that means you've gone too far. So we're only going as far as we can keep those hips nice and level. Let's do one more here. Come back to center. Let's lower that foot down. And then let's extend the left leg out. Bring it to the side and back. To the side and back. So I just really love the feedback we're getting on this exercise in particular, because it's really easy to shift the hips on this move. Let's do one more here. Let's lower it down. And then one more exercise here. So we're going to add the arms and legs together. So we're going to extend that right leg out as we lift up that left arm. Try to reach the fingertips away from the toes. Set it back down, and then we'll switch sides. Left leg comes out, right arm comes out, and down. Again, try not to move that ball. So ball stays still. Extending the arm, extending the leg. Don't forget to breathe. Let's hold the right leg and left arm out. Bring both the arm and the leg out to the side and back. Try to keep that ball stable here. Last two. Last one. Let's lower the arm and leg down. Let's switch sides. Left leg comes out, right arm comes out. Bring both to the side and back. Keep that ball still. Keep those hips stable. Abs pulled in. Last one here. Lower everything down. Then let's come up to our high kneeling. We'll send our butt back towards our heels. Knees are nice and wide. We're going to roll the ball forward as we lower that chest down, coming into child's pose here. Breathing into it. With each exhale, try to sink that chest a little lower. Maybe we bring that head to the ground too. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out. Begin to roll up, stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Head is the last thing to come up. And we are finished. Great job, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this workout.